Hey everybody, good morning. It's Jillian. So, yeah, I'm so really happy with the response I've been getting as far as emails when it comes to the interest of the secret Facebook group that is not so secret. Um, as you guys have seen, that the website is difficult to get into, not totally impossible for some people across the world, as Kevin can get into it, and he's in Belgium, so he's kind of sort of he has access to it and is an admin, but he's not doing anything in it really, but he's just kind of looking out over it. Um, what I'm going to be doing with my personal Facebook is just really have benign stuff. I'm not going to say too much about the protocol. I might say, hey, I'm doing great, just like day-to-day stuff. I'm really going to be putting now the bulk of my work through the secret Facebook site. Okay. Um, I'm not going to be posting anymore to YouTube. I'm done with that. Um, so whatever you can glean off of YouTube from this point forward, if you don't want to get the book and you don't want to be part of the secret Facebook group, then that's perfectly fine. Really, my interaction is going to be through the secret Facebook group. It really is, because when you even if it's $8 that you spend, even for the rest of your life, even if it's 1995 you spend for the rest of your life, or whatever our next book is going to be, that's like pittance to God, to whatever you would spend out there in the pharmaceuticals world. So, I want to put some value into the people who actually spent the money, and said, okay, you're worth $8. Oh yeah, you're worth 19.95. I get what, like $12 or $5. So it's not like I'm making a shiz ton of money, but I did my taxes the last 3 years, and it's not a bad sum, but it's not like I'm a rich person, okay, by any means, no. So, you know, it's I want to make it worth it to my people. Michelle, here's the thing, Michelle, you have to buy the book. Okay, you send us the receipt. When you send us the receipt, we will then ask for the email address associated with your Facebook. We will send you an invite. The secret Facebook group is a paid site for people who are already on my website, who paid to get the book. We gave them a login and password. The website's through WordPress. My hosting site is still looking for the glitch of why it is I'm being knocked offline in so many different areas. And so so now finally I went back to Facebook, but in a secret way, but it's not really secret. Go to jillyjuice.com, or not here. I actually put it, actually, don't go to jillyjuice.com, sorry. Go to, I've been posting it all over the place, but go to my biography page. I'll put the link here. Hold on a second. But like on my About Me has says Lulu Spotlight, Author Spotlight. You have two options for the book. Okay. It's like I've been posting this stuff for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and now that I finally like leave, I don't do free stuff anymore. Now people want to, which is fine, but it's just like, I guess free stuff is just doesn't have value until you take it away. Hold on a second. But really, I feel more comfortable with talking to people who actually bought the book, who are serious about the protocol, who really want to understand this, not just get free information and then just kind of we're like, okay, whatever. It's like, I mean, this stuff is super important, but people don't take it as important because they don't see a value until you take it away, and it's like, that's the thing that I deal with. And then someone pirated my book. It was posted on torrent and all that stuff. I mean, artists really get a really bad rap. Or not bad rap, but artists really have to work through a lot of that BS. They work hard on stuff and then nobody takes them seriously until somebody has an issue with their health and they're like, oh wait, what did Jillian say? How do I get your book? What? I'm not really, Control V. There it is. So that is where my book is. Okay. So how I'm going to run my personal is I'm just going to say, hey, what's going on? Here's some current events. I'll have a presence just saying like, hi, hello, this is what I look like today. I'm not sick. Okay. But really, truly, I'm going to be pouring my heart, my soul, giving people. Now, I'm not going to say so much of my personal life. Um, um, Good night, Mary Kay. I'm not pour so much of my personal life into that secret site because there's still people that I know are trolls. We have people that we send emails to that are part of the website that we know are probably legit Facebook users, but have this whole spy versus spy, according to BuzzFeed, and so we know people that are still spying on us, and that's fine. But hey, if you've proven that you bought the book, you send us a receipt. I don't care really what your intentions are, really. I mean, we can kind of see your affiliations, by just looking at your page if we really wanted to. But we kind of know who's coming in. And yeah, there's always someone's going to hide their identity or hide their true intentions. But I don't want to I'm not coming into the troll hunting. See, this is where finally I've talked to my my mod saying, like, we're not doing troll hunting. We don't care if there are trolls in the group. If they're doing stupid stuff in the group, they get kicked out. If someone's screenshotting stuff, believe me, it's hard to find out who really is doing it. It is what it is. So that's why I have very specific rules in the group that you don't post your children. You don't post anything about anyone you're taking care of. You don't post your animals. Good morning, Masa. You don't put anything on in that group that you don't want somebody to come back at you and misinterpret your posts to where you're having, some government agency being called on you. Because remember, Facebook is not private. No matter how much you lock down your account, Facebook is not private. We leave footprints everywhere. Even when we don't know we leave footprints everywhere, we leave footprints everywhere. You post a comment in one site, you're a part of a group in another site. People see your group affiliations. They know kind of where you live. They know you have kids if you're posting kids. I mean, this is the things, that you have to be aware of when you're on social media. But then, it's like transparency on Facebook versus anonymity in my group. The anonymity is like, you don't know who anybody is, okay, in the website. So it's like, but it was good for people that didn't want to reveal themselves. They want to talk about their kids. So, well, we can't do that in the Facebook group, but you can send me private email messages, not private messages, but email messages saying, hey, I have a question about this, or what do you think about this? But I'm still not going to instruct you on how to deal with your child. You're the mother. You know what the heck to do with your children. You shouldn't be asking me. If you have to ask me, then you really should be asking a professional. I am not anybody's doctor, okay? When it comes to animals, the same thing. I mean, I could say, yeah, I mix it in with with the dog food, but I'm not going to tell you measurements. I'm not going to tell you how many milliliters. I'm not going to say, well, this or that. I mean, I had someone yesterday call me, and bless her heart, I know she's going through some stuff. She has a stray and was wondering, how do you apply the juice? And so you just take a cotton ball and, whatever. But the stray already has so many issues. And then the stray, was at the vet because it went through some kind of like major event. And she wanted to call me and ask me what I to do. I'm like, there's nothing I can do. That stray brought to the table so many issues. And then if you don't understand how the protocol works as far as symptoms and all of that, I can't tell you. If you understand the protocol, you'll figure it out with your animals. You'll figure it out with your children. So there's no reason why anybody should ask anybody in my group how much you should give your child, how much you should give your animal. Because if you don't know as an instinct of an animal owner or a mother, father, then you shouldn't be in my group, for one. Number two, you need to be seeing a doctor. You need to be seeing a vet. You need to be seeing a professional. Okay. So no matter what, I'm not going to be answering even through private messenger. Now, if you want me to cover a topic on what I do with my dog, fine. Because my dog went through all the different healing symptoms. She went through, the skin issues and the fatty tumors and the weight gain and all the things that go along with healing. The animal is no different than a human with specific certain things that are a little bit different, like certain foods they can't eat and all of that. But really, animals and people are not that different. Okay? But still, we're not going to be instructing each other how to dosage our animals and our children or our patients that we have in our care. If you are a caretaker of somebody that's Alzheimer's or it's cancer or in hospice, no, this is not the place for you to ask what to do in that situation. It will never be a place. I will never, ever instruct anybody who has a question on how to do this for someone that doesn't know how to speak for themselves. Never. This is a personal journey for you personally. And everybody has personal responsibility for what they know and what they don't know. And if they don't know, they find out. But if you don't know, then you read my book. You can ask certain questions in the group about, hey, have you experienced this? Hey, I see my ferments. And you can actually post pictures of your ferments. You can post pictures of your poop, well, in the comment lines, okay? We're not trying to have poop shots in my group. I really don't want to go back to that scenario again. I mean, it's kind of funny and it's kind of weird being back on Facebook with Jilly Juice, but I have a whole lot more, I would say, experience behind me. I needed that year to get away from Facebook group because now I'm looking at my notifications and they're like, remember back when I had the group open like a year ago, February, 90 notifications, 50 like every morning. Now I'm seeing them come back up again like 30 or 40. I'm like, ah! So I'm glad that I took that year off, okay, and create a website where I can just throw you in there and let Lillian handle it so I can freaking think. Because Facebook doesn't let you think because you're always reacting to somebody or something. But now I've channeled my energy to where now I can sort of separate out my hormones. So my regular Facebook is saying, hey, what's up? I'm still alive. Hey, if you want to be part of the secret group, just send us a receipt. You get in for life. There is no like, I'm kicking everybody out who doesn't pay. We're not doing that. So, so yeah, Kevin, please no poop shots. So, and then that group is just gonna be a place where I'll just talk about my own journey, I still won't reveal too much about what's going on with certain things because, certain things you just kind of have to keep private because you don't want to broadcast it everywhere because no matter what, you don't know who people are. You don't know what they're going to tell other people. So you still keep, a good tight hold on your personal life. But if you're already out on Facebook about Jilly Juice, then it's no problem. If you don't say anything at all in the group, I'm perfectly fine with that. You can be the most silent person. You don't have to say anything. And I don't want you to say anything if you don't want to say anything, because I don't want to put anybody in a position to where somebody can then misinterpret. Okay? So, I just want it to be a place where if someone feels safe enough, they can talk. I will say whatever I say, and then you can bounce off of that and say, hey, yeah, I feel the same way too, or something. You can send us an email. I know right now Lillian's like bombarded, but I told her, spend an hour a day. She doesn't have to get through everybody all at once. Believe me, I can only do about 9 invites a day. I can't do any more because I was doing invite, like people I knew that who bought the book or in the group, and I was doing invites through, my interface in the secret group through my friends list, and it only allows me to do 9 a day. So I had my quota for the day. Now I don't know how many Lillian can do through the inviting through email, but that's her area of expertise. And that's why she's around. Okay. And she was amazing by just having those Excel spreadsheet lists of all the members ever since like April 12th or something. So, I knew I got the right chick to do this because I wasn't doing down. I was kind of like separate. I mean, the website was more for a place where you guys can ask questions anonymously if you wanted to. It wasn't hopping because it's not really easy. Not everybody can understand WordPress. Facebook is an easier interface, but I knew I needed to have a place like my personal page where I'm not going to get a billion notifications because, I mean, I still do get not like a billion, but I still get notifications, but it's not like so hopping because it's not somebody bringing up subject matters that I'm not talking about. So, but now, now that I have this group, but still, I mean, Kevin's going to kind of help out, but he does what he does and he has to work on the book. So I don't want him to get too distracted. Okay. And then there's Lillian and myself and, I try to keep, now I have the energy and I have all my little projects all compartmentalized. So that way I can say, okay, I'll answer this question or I'll say this or I'll do this. And really anything that's being posted in my group isn't really anything that difficult. And some member will offer their expertise and their experience. And so I don't really have to work too hard. But yeah, like a year and a half ago, 2 years. Yes, Kevin, she's a smart chick. Yeah. A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we were really just clamping down. I mean, we were adding people left and right, and we were adding people, and we really didn't have any, like, I would say, what is it? There's a word. I can't even think of it. Discernment. We didn't really have discernment on who we brought in. Okay? So we were just, because we wanted to expose this to everybody. I mean, we wanted everybody to know what it is I was saying. We wanted everybody to know what it is that we were exploring. Okay. And that's why I went on to Dr. Phil, even though, some people are like, you probably shouldn't have, but you know what? There is no right way to roll something so different out to the public. There's no right way. No matter what, if I didn't go on Dr. Phil, I would have had it done it through, it would still be going under fire. Like, BuzzFeed still wrote the article about me. So it didn't even matter. BuzzFeed wrote it in March. Okay. And so I already had, a light cast upon me, a very horrible light cast upon me in March of 2018. And I just kind of compounded it, like, in May when the Dr. Phil show aired, but that's fine. And then the OAG. And then after all of those three things, the BuzzFeed, the Dr. Phil, and the OAG then catapulted me into the next hemisphere because then I was forced to do way more research to then substantiate, even if it's not 100%, like not 100%, I think it's 100% enough for the claims that I was making. But then I had even more revelations way after the OAG substantiation, even more revelations because I'm actually now finally coming to a point of balance. And I'm finally not as hormonal as I used to be. Still going through my healing because, yes, traumas and mutations happened even during the time that I was rolling this out. I mean, you guys, if you've been around long enough, you've seen all that stuff. So finally now we can narrow down. We have discernment on who it is that is a candidate for Jilly Juice. We have established ground rules for Facebook because we know how Facebook works. We understand the community standards. We understand the climate that's out there. We understand what people are saying. And there's nothing I can do about what people are saying. Down the road, if I want to, take on all of my detractors and my critics, I could, but is it really worth it? It could be dependent relative to what's being said and what's being posted. But I'm not going to worry too much about people talking smack because you really can't stop people from talking smack. You really can't stop them from doing that. So it's just a matter of going after all the people that pirate. And that's, so I'm going to put things in place so that way Kevin doesn't have his work being stolen and being run through torrent and all those other pirating websites. But still, there's nothing 100%. You know, someone can go and make copies of the book and then they upload it onto a blog site. And if I find it, then yeah, it'd be, you know, I'll go after them. But it's one of those where, you know, there's no way to really stop anyone from saying anything. And that's okay. Everybody has, it's free speech, of course. I mean, you're allowed to have an opinion, of course, you know. And how I combated the whole thing with Bruce Wilmot is I did my own timeline on the narrative that was based upon what he wrote in his own words. Okay, I didn't make any kind of suppositions. I didn't create a narrative that had a slant that was going to slam me, because that would be counterproductive, of course, be a conflict of interest. You know, I didn't leave out any pertinent information. I did a timeline and I actually added in things that were left out purposely from the other two articles, from the other two reporters or bloggers, whatever the hell they are. Okay. So it's like, you know, everyone's going to have a spin on stuff. And so that's why, you know, I have just, you know, now I understand what people go through when it comes to the media. And, you know, and so if you find yourself, anybody, any of you, if you find yourself a victim of somebody's malicious blogging intent, you figure out the damages. You figure out the damages. And if you can actually calculate the damages to where you have to go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or you have to take medication because somebody wrote lies about you, and you can actually show that there was damage to you, that's all. You can take that, but you'd have to, you know, I mean, you'd have to figure out how, maybe have a lawyer or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe you can even do that in a higher court, but you have to have extensive damages. It'd have to be above 6 or 7 or 8,000. Okay, it would have to be 6 or 7, 8,000. So it would have to be out of claims court for things like that, small claims court. All right. So, but that's the things that we need to start understanding, because the internet and people have become out of control, and they're trying to victimize each other to gain market share, hits and clicks, ad sales, all that. So, you know, if you understand how the justice system works, you can make it work to your advantage. Okay. So, you know, so that's the journey that I'm going through right now, is finally facing all the detractors and figuring out where I have a case and where I don't. So, anyways, yeah. So other than that, I mean, if you have a email address that you gave to us through the website to get the login and password, you sent us a receipt, and it's not affiliated with Facebook, then you're not going to be able to get in. Okay. So, which means that you have to give up your email address associated with your Facebook account. So when Lillian puts in your email address, it'll be a very easy transition. You have to accept the invite. Okay. Now, I don't know what you guys see out there. I know I've been invited to belong to certain groups that I didn't accept the invitation because I don't want to belong to it. So I just ignore it. But I see that, okay, stuff's in there, but I don't really, you know. So, so some of you, I think, you know, because I think, I don't know, I might have accepted some invitation. But yeah, it's a personal invitation, and you might get it through email, or you might get it through your actual Facebook. If you get it through your email but not your Facebook, it means that you probably can't get in because your email is not attached to Facebook. But if you get an invite using your email address attached to your Facebook, it'll probably go through your notifications, most likely, because that's how it's able to pick up and get triggered. Okay. So I'm not going to be doing too much about the protocol or about anything like healing. I'm going to really do more of that stuff in the group. You know, I'll just say how I'll do probably like 2 Facebook Lives. One for my personal Facebook crowd, which is going to be very benign, not too much. I'm not going to be posting anymore on YouTube. So whatever you see on YouTube, download it. Okay, that's over 100 videos. It's a lot of videos. It's a lot. But if you don't want to buy the book and you don't want to be part of the discussion forum in the secret Facebook group, then at least you have YouTube. Okay? And that's it. Yeah. And Michelle, yeah, just send an email to jillyjuice1974 at gmail.com. So JILLYJUICE 1974 at gmail.com, and send Lillian the receipt, and make sure that your email address, you have the one that's connected to Facebook. Then that's how she'll invite you, and then you accept the invitation. Okay? But yeah, we got to have a place, a centralized location somewhere where we have people just exchanging info and supporting each other through all of this. And since now we finally learned the ground rules, we understand, and we have discernment, and we actually have really, like, we understand now the climate, we can finally go back to Facebook and work it through that way. And remember, remember community standards. When someone tries to trigger you, don't retort back. That was one of the biggest things that got me into a lot of Facebook jail, was because someone would trigger me and I would shoot right back. And of course, inevitably, it would violate some Facebook rule, and then I'd be thrown in jail. Okay? I'm not going to be posting anything. I'm not, even in my group, I'm not going to say too much anything political. I'm not going to go through anything too political. It's going to be strictly just personally what I'm going through, and then you guys share what you're going through if you want, if you feel comfortable. And there you go. And there'll be enough of us that are comfortable to give people an idea that this is a common pattern of healing symptoms, or what we experience through Jilly Juice. Okay, there's enough of us. There's enough of Kevin and myself. There's maybe Bridget. Right, Kevin. Who else? Lillian might share some stuff. So those that have already been kind of out, like Patty Collette, Christina Morris, those that already have been kind of coming out already, and they're not afraid of the backlash, and they don't have anything to lose as far as like people in their life getting like private messages from trolls. We'll keep you guys informed of our progress, so that way it gives you more of a thanks, Jennifer, makes you feel more comfortable in starting this. Because some of you may receive the book, but you haven't started it yet because you really want to see someone with the same situation that you have, that would then make you feel more comfortable. And that's not always going to happen. If there's only a handful of us that have a certain set of mutations, and then we talk about our healing symptoms, you're probably not going to see a personalized version of your experience to then give you hope that Jilly Juice is going to take care of it. You have to understand the bigger picture. It is about the overall 11 different systems that have to work simultaneously and have cross-functional communication. And when you have glitches, that's when you have symptoms. When you have glitches and viruses and pathogens, that's when you start seeing cancer, disease, and chronic illness. So it's going to be hard to find someone with the exact same symptoms as you, because then you also have life experience and traumas that happen in your world with also a different background. It'd be very difficult to find someone with the exact same symptoms, the exact same background, the exact same upbringing. I mean, it's just, so you just have to look at the bigger picture and realize that you may have a more exotic disease, but it's not immune to nutrition, strategic nutrition. Okay? And that's really all it is. And James says, handy tip, have a second account for yourself and make it. No, James, I can't. I've already been through that. And I actually, Kevin is an admin, I'm an admin, and Lillian's an admin. So there's 3 of us. Okay? Even if I'm thrown in Facebook jail, I will never be thrown in Facebook jail ever again, James, ever. Because I'm not going to go there. The only reason why a person be thrown in Facebook jail is if they retort back and get caught up in politics, or they're posting what someone could say is hate speech, which that hasn't happened in a while because I haven't posted anything political. And I've changed some of my language. So I already know how to play the game. I haven't been in Facebook jail in a while because I don't get involved. I don't get involved with the drama. It's those that get involved in the drama and they go back and forth with people that don't agree with them. And inevitably someone's going to say something personally against their look or something else. And then that's when they get thrown in Facebook jail. So it's better to not even engage with anyone that doesn't agree with you. Or you post something very, very benign, and if someone wants to retort back, say you're this, you're that, you just block them and you don't engage. That's the key to not being thrown in Facebook jail, is to get off the politics, stop being an activist, and don't engage. That's it. So then you'll never be put in Facebook jail because no one can hold anything against you, you know? So, yeah, I don't want to ever have to go and figure out how to deal with Facebook jail ever again. That's why I say to people who are thrown in Facebook jail, do not learn at all. They keep playing in the activism. They're still mutated. Okay? So I don't want to be in that world. I don't want to be playing in the mutated world of activism anymore. And that's what gets you into Facebook jail. That's what gets you into jail out there. When you're an activist, you cross your boundaries, you're blocking traffic, you're doing critical mass, you're blocking up the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, stopping from hardworking people to get to their kids because you have an issue with something. I completely disagree with that. I mean, California is probably the biggest activist state. Well, along in New York too. A lot of the progressive states out there, the left-wing states, are big into activism, and they're big into disrupting daily routines. And I'm not trying to do that. Okay. If I'm ever thrown in Facebook, I'll come for your. Yeah. Well, so here's the thing, James. If you're ever thrown in Facebook jail, I'll give you a hint about this. Okay. You can. So if you're thrown in Facebook jail because of a post, then you can appeal the post, because sometimes you may post something that was reported by someone as hate speech, and then I think what it is that you're convicted, and then you have to prove yourself, which means you have to appeal, and you have to go into your inbox, or what you do is you go into Google and put Facebook disabled my account, or and then you go through that process. They might want you to upload an ID or some kind of identification type of card or something. But if somebody reports a post, you can always appeal it. Okay, and then they do a second look at it and actually read it word for word. And I've had that happen where I posted something where there was no hate speech. I was just mentioning all the different categories of a political thing, and someone posted as hate speech, and so I was thrown in jail for a minute. I had them do an appeal. I appealed it, had them take a look at it, and then on Monday, it happened on Friday, and then on Monday, they said, okay, that wasn't hate speech. We apologize, and then I was back online again. Okay, so it's just a matter of just keeping your posts non-political, non-offensive. And if it is offensive to somebody because, it's because even if it's offensive, whatever, but don't use keywords. Stay away from keywords that are going to trigger somebody or something. Okay? So anyways, so there's that. But really, yeah, the group that I'm in, the secret Facebook group, is going to be a place where we can just really understand the journey and understand what our mindset's going to be like on this process. Okay? And that's it. It's not going to be like it was in the old group where it was like insane. Like I could barely sleep a year ago running that group with the moderators I did. I think it's really good that the fact that I had I had like 8 moderators or something back in the old group. And with that year off where I went to the website, a lot of those moderators fell off. I would say probably over half. The only ones that were left that really, now some of the people it just wasn't their forte, which is okay. But the others were really in it for like the quick buck, because they were thinking that there was going to be a lot of money in the website as far as what I would pay someone to help run and take care of it. But it didn't turn out that way. And so they kind of then fell off and fell to the wayside. So yeah, I invested. Just so you know, I bought a few people computers a year ago. Okay, so I invested probably about shit 600, maybe three, probably over a couple $1,000 on my moderators. I bought them each computers, not all of them, but I bought a few of them computers that didn't have computers, thinking that we were going to be doing. So I had an idea that we were going to, and then finally, when we figured out that it wasn't going to be the traffic like it was on Facebook, just because Facebook's so much easier than WordPress, um, the people that weren't really super serious, that had other issues, they fell off. Yeah, I invested in them, but that's okay. That's just kind of the way things go. You invest in something, you hope for a return, doesn't always happen, you just move on. I did get a good return because I knew who it is that was serious. And there's people that have invested like major, but they're not, moderators, but they invested in a different way. Okay. But but having that year where it was like a buffer where I didn't have to be worried about reacting to Facebook. I didn't have to, and then I knew who was serious, who stuck around even through the hard times, who didn't go off and do their own thing and selling pills, powders, and supplements and whatever, or just go off and do whatever. So, I've put out some money for people, invest in people, and that's okay because, they had the chance, they had the choice, choose not to. That's okay. They got a computer, great. Okay, and that's fine. Maybe it might help them get a job or something. I don't know. So, I had a lot of hope that things would be a certain way. And when it didn't, that's okay. You go and find a different way. You go and regroup, and you always keep progressing. And it's always continuous process improvement. That's the bottom line with Jilly Juice, is continuous process improvement. And so I learned that through a class actually at Chapman University, a night school over in California. It's a satellite adult school for after work adults and everything. And, and I learned it through some of that worked with IT infrastructure management. Okay. Where, you learn about change management, you learn about continuous process improvement, you learn about cross-functional communication between functional silos. And then I applied that to the human body. And then I applied that to my own company, my own organization. And that's what it is. If something doesn't work one way, you go to another way. You don't really cry over spilled milk. You keep moving and figure out, okay, if it doesn't work this way, you try it this way. If it doesn't work this way, try it this way. And then you don't be afraid of confrontation, because when you get into confrontation, guess what? Somebody gives you information. Sometimes confrontation is good because you now finally have information that you didn't have before, or you didn't know about something that someone finally gave you. Okay? So the J juice is going to force you to confront things that you didn't want to confront. You're now going to get information that you didn't have before. Now you're going to be that much smarter, more experienced. You're going to be level-headed. You're not going to be, working from emotions. You're going to deal with your own personal issues. You're not going to worry about what's going on down the street in somebody else's household. You'll be taking care of yourself, and then you'll understand the people around you. So you know now how to work around their idiosyncrasies and not get caught up in their drama. Because the other day when I didn't want to take the phone call of the lady that had to deal with her cat, because she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, there is nothing I can do. I could get on the phone and say, okay, well, but then I would have been needlessly involved in somebody else's drama with a stray cat. It's like, so you'll have boundaries that you'll put down on areas that you have control over, and areas that you don't have control over. Okay, and everyone's going to want to pull you into their drama, and you will now have the choice, and you'll have the freedom to say, no, I don't want to be pulled into this. I can only do so much. I have too much going on in my world to be pulled into this drama. There's not going to be any return on this investment. And I'm not saying that I'm looking for always a return on investment, not saying that I'm not being benevolent. Believe me, I give people my time. I've given people hours of my time. And it's because also, too, they helped me out in the past as well. So that's why I give somebody a couple hours of my time, because they helped me in an area that I knew nothing about. And they gave me hope, and they gave me the confidence to be able to go into something. So I don't mind returning the favor. But then it doesn't give it license to then have it be a continuous thing, unless it's something like, hey, here's this, here's that. So so you'll be able to discern what what you will be involved with in your life, and if it's a good return on your investment, and understand what you are responsible for. Okay, so there's that. But other than that, all of anything more about Jilly Juice and the healing symptoms and certain things, will be done in the secret group. And if you want to be part of the secret group, that will discuss the Jilly Juice and the benefits you get from it, and then also a support system, then just get the book. Okay. You can go to my about page, the link to the, you can go to my business site, you can go to my about page on my Facebook and click on the Lulu author spotlight link. Okay. And either buy the ebook or get the paperback book, and then my email address to send for the receipt. I couldn't fit everything on there. Actually, I'm going to take off the YouTube. I'm going to take off the YouTube link and put in the business email address to send us the receipt. We'll then send you an invite with the email that's associated with Facebook, and then you can get in that way. So I'm just kind of reconfiguring the marketing that I'm doing as far as this, because I don't know when the website's can come back up. I haven't heard anything. I mean, the ticket's still there. The guys are working on it. They sent me an email. My hosting site sent me an email saying, okay, well, give us the IP address of your device, give us the IP address of your laptop, and then that's all I've heard. And so Kevin can get into it, but Kevin's not really managing it, and it really isn't that active anyways, because it's not really user friendly. But it was a great buffer for me, so I can think, and I can get everybody kind of away from me for a year, so I can start thinking and creating. And that was probably the best thing I ever did, was that website, because it really gave me the biggest buffer. Because now with the Facebook group, as more people come into it, I'm going to see my notifications just popping up. And yeah, and I've told Lillian, an hour a day. Don't get caught up in there. People are going to help each other out. If there's any trolls in there, which I don't imagine there really will be, because they don't want to out themselves. They want to see what's going on, and they'll give them content for their debunking pages. My stuff gives people something to talk about. Whether they love me or hate me, it does give people a platform, and it does give them a market share. I get it. But then they're also advertising for me as well. Okay? So it is kind of a quid pro quo. I really can't hate anybody really out there, but if you are violating any laws, like pirating my stuff, then yeah, okay. But other than that, I mean, I really don't have an issue. I really don't have an issue really with anybody. I understand the mentality of trying to make money for your family, even at the expense of somebody else. And if you understand how YouTube works, if you understand how Patreon works, if you understand how all these different cash applications work and GoFundMe and all of that, then people will do the best they can to grab market share. It's just the way of the world. It really is. Okay, but then we have the law to then say, okay, well, you're crossing the lines here by taking market share. All right, so, understand the laws before you believe all those stories. Understand the laws of your immune system. Understand the laws of your body. Understand the laws of your community, of the world. You'll be fine. You won't have to ever look at Facebook jail ever again, and you won't engage in the bullshit politics and the activism. You will finally just take care of yourself and your family. Novel thought, huh? All right. Have a great day. Bye.